Allegedly, this piece of shit says we're live. And I've actually got my ugly mug here, so I'm guessing we're live.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hang on a second. I'm going to check.
Oh, okay. We got bodies coming in.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell happened, but apparently we had a probably PEBCAC probably exists between keyboard and chair. But apparently my ugly face is on the is on YouTube now. Yay, go me. I actually had some stuff to talk about, but I seem to have forgotten it all. For those of you wondering why I look like I'm about to announce the invasion of Ukraine, Jim is having floor laid at his house and has to be present because, well, it's Jim. Has to be present while the people do it to his specifications. So it's me and the Peanut Gallery. Off screen, we've got Jonna and Rita. Big news on Rita's part. Her thesis is coming along nicely. She's got some great feedback from her advisory committee, and apparently is scheduled to defend it here fairly quickly. So if you see Rita, congratulate her. Other good news. Can y'all hear me all right? Because I'm using the Yeti mic instead of the that thing mic. Outstanding. I guess they can hear me. Other news. I noticed Cedar earlier when I was trying to verbally coax the computer into working.
I made him put the big mallet down. I mean, because, yeah. I think we should have just recorded that.
I'm a little frustrated.
Just a little.
It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
And it's a Mac, and I can't stand Macs. So
We had discussions some other time.
Make great frisbees. Anyway, I noticed Cedar hasn't popped on yet, but I noticed just before I cut sling load on the other one that Cedar has made her announcement. So go Cedar, our little North Texas troublemaker, and somebody else just North. I've got to stop reading comments. How do I do that? How do I read the comments?
Just.
Our little North Texas group is growing by leaps and bounds. You know, rubber chicken. You obviously couldn't see me waving a multi-tool at it.
Just wait till see what we have for the live feed on Tuesday.
What's on Tuesday?
Well, Tim's bringing some special stuff in the van. Things that didn't fit in the car, and I wasn't going to send on the truck.
Multiple parts, disparate parts of my lives for special met different things. Mm-hmm. Malta. Tomorrow is the deadline for the Malta analogy. If you're still on the fence, and if you're one of the several people who have sent me messages saying, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't send it." As a former E6 in the United States Army, I tend, when dealing with officers, which I honestly consider a whole bunch of riders to be officers, they're clueless. You have to lead them around like children. I built in about a week's worth of OJIT time. So if you can't get it to me by tomorrow, there's still a little time to go. All right. So turn in the damn story. And if we don't accept your story, I expect a link where you self-publish it so that I can publicize. So I can publicize your link to your short story. Again, in case that sneeze wrecked the microphone, if you turn in too late or we don't accept your story, I expect you to self-publish on Amazon so I can publicize your self-publication. Let's see. Heck, news. I'm gonna get a little evil. Is everybody following Brandon Sanderson?
No,
Be right back.
no, I should check the number for you.
Oh, a second. That's fine. Next.
Oh. Well, you guys see this? You see this? This is tiny manatee fabric. Guess what it's for?
Lanyard.
No, it's for Wendell. Ow.
I sneezed and broke something loose in the sinus. Anyway,
Are they wanton pinup manatees?
Yes.
Seriously?
We'll put little bikinis on them later. So
Cheesecake manatee is
Did-
everything.
are you all hearing the back and forth in the background? Yeah, that's my life. That exchange right there is my life. Isn't it great? Anyway, anybody that's following Brandon Sanderson,
no, wait.
like,
Wait,
What?
so no. See,
no.
this is the Aloha fabric for Wendell shirts.
Okay, can I talk about the?
Yes, now you
Okay,
can.
now I talk about Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson apparently pulled a sneaky, and during his lockdown, it looks like he wrote about 4 books, which is jolly well productive of the man. I got to give him that. Anyway, he wrote 4 books, and since these books aren't on contract to any evil publishing house, he's going to tend to it himself, self-publishing, self-publishing. And he started a Kickstarter, hoping for a 7-figure, $1 million or so, on a Kickstarter to get these access to these books. Well,
19.
less than 48 hours after he started his Kickstarter, Brandon is currently at $19.3 million. This tickles me pink in so many different ways. As somebody around here might have said in the past, it makes me all tingly in my nutty bits. Because I'm evil. That is $19.3 million and climbing that his traditional publishing house is not going to get. Plus, it tends to suggest that the RICO Act influenced bookkeeping by traditional publishing might have been gaming his numbers a bit. Because if he can get $19.3 million in 48 hours, I'm wondering what his royalty checks look like. Anyway, why am I reading the comments? I always read the comments. Don't read the
We're
comments.
talking about Wendell shirts.
Window shirts. So here's Brandon taking off, and I'm hoping deep down inside the cockroaches in my little heart that this is one of the death knells for traditional publishing. This, granted, he's got name, he's got star power, he has name behind what he does, but it definitely, if nobody else notices, it definitely points out that there's something fucky in the Racketeering and Influence Corrupt Organization Act inspired bookkeeping of traditional publishing. So yay. What else is there? Ukraine's still holding in there. They're still losing ground. I am, however, tickled somewhat pink by the fact that while they are losing traditional war, and they are, they're going to lose absolutely short a major miracle, which we'll get to here in a second. Ukraine's going to wind up with a puppet government, a figurehead head of state, and a peacekeeping force of Russian knuckle draggers, and probably one of the worst insurgencies this tiny little green dirt ball has ever seen. However, when it comes to miracles, a former Russian oligarch, now living in the United States for reasons which will shortly become quite obvious, has issued a $1 million bounty, no questions asked, for anybody who arrests Putin for crimes against the Ukraine or otherwise renders him not a threat. Wow. That's a miracle thing, considering that the Russians are about to start eating their shoe leather because they have maybe a barter system. I'm not sure they're that good at that. That $1 million American, that's a lot of incentive, and I hope he has his life insurance paid up, because I'm pretty sure that Vladimir the Putin is a little annoyed by the fact there's $1 million bounty on his head. Yes, he did not. Well, apparently he did say dead or alive, and then had to pull it off Instagram because Instagram went, whoa, 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 no, you cannot say that. So, yeah, $1 million American for arrested or rendered otherwise harmless. Thump. So back to the Ukraine. They are losing. They're losing the ground war, but they are winning all out of sorts in the meme war and the info war and the propaganda war. This is one of the most one-sided things I've ever seen. This is worse than Baghdad Bob announcing that there were no Americans with an M3 Bradley cruising through the shot behind him. They are owning the propaganda war on this. It is fantastic. The latest is the TikTok video of a Russian soldier who got snatched, and some female Ukrainian called his mother, FaceTimed his mother with the soldier, then told the mother, he's fine, he's okay, we're feeding him. Do you want to come get him? Ouch. That's something that Putin can't compete with. He doesn't know how to do this. He doesn't have the savvy. Thank you, baby. He doesn't have the savvy for this. And for all of you that are yip-yapping about Putin's tactics, remember, Putin's not military. Putin is a KGB thug. He's really good in the shadows. I understand where he's coming from. He's really good in the shadows. He's not great at strategy and moving large numbers of men around. He's good at using a lead pipe in a dark alley in Istanbul.
He's good with a horse.
He's apparently good with a horse. So, and he's a thug. He has a thug's mentality. He's got a 1970s, 1980s, a Cold War thug mentality. He is losing. And this meme war that the Ukrainians are doing needs to be encouraged. This is a sort of thing that will enable Ukrainians to dare and achieve mighty things when they're crunched under a Russian boot, assuming that somebody doesn't put 115 grains of regime change into Vladimir Putin's skull. If any Russian oligarchs or any Russian military is listening, if Anonymous has left your internet intact, there's a quick trick to running a country. Just squeeze a trigger and you too can run a country. Let's see. I had something else to talk about now. I've forgotten what the hell it was. I need to stop doing these things because my mind just goes off on rabbit tracks, and I can't remember where the hell I was going. Me more. Me
All
more.
I know is Texas weather is weird.
Oh, speaking of, I would like the United States Department of State and the Department of Treasury's Internal Revenue Service to please direct our browsers to the Ukrainian tax office and maybe take notes, because apparently the Ukrainian tax office has announced officially and verified that if you seize any abandoned invader military equipment, you do not have to declare it on your annual tax form. If the U.S. will do this, I will be on a plane in 3.2 seconds, because if I can get back with 10 RPKs in the overhead compartment, we're set for life.
Tax VTAs. If you can capture one.
And then I would love, if I'd come back with 10 RPKs, cash them in,
Yeah.
buy a boat, head back over,
Yeah.
or even if I get enough RPKs to rent a C-130, I would love to airdrop a T-72 on Yard Moose Mountain, because Larry's always wanted a tank, and apparently
See, we could get Larry a tank.
you can get tanks, and the Ukrainians won't tax you on them.
You know, I can actually hear Bridget over Larry's shoulder going, "Where would we park that?"
I've seen the pictures of Yard Moose Mountain. They
I
have
know,
room to
they've
park
got
the
plenty
tanks.
of room, but I could just see her going, "Seriously, how? Okay, you got to write another book for the gas." Yeah.
And the
The question is, can he fit in the tank? That's a really good question.
well, and that's the thing is Russian
Yeah.
tanks tend to be small.
Yeah,
They tend to be small. And Larry is
Larry's not small.
no, he is a proper American-sized gentleman. However, I would really love to airdrop a T-72 on Larry's front lawn.
That would be great.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, and then we could just use the parachute as a giant. You know, we could create a party. You know, a party.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
turn it into a
Turn it into a.
pergola. What is it?
Well,
Thing?
yeah, you just get a really tall pole and a bunch of spikes.
What is that
and then
thing
have a
from
party.
Zork?
Yeah,
Not Cabana. Something the Zork name. Anyway.
yeah. I call them battle cruisers because they look like battle cruisers when you have them all staked down.
Oh,
But they're loads of fun, you know. Stay out
um,
in the sun.
Josh or David says, "Where you give Larry a tank, you might want to clear out the Bridget. If I can airdrop it, I will be out of the state before she figures out what lands on her lawn." And I'm in
Make sure it
Texas.
lands on the lawn.
Well.
Or in the middle of the range, which there's plenty of room for on the range. So yeah. And we could, he's covered with balloons and streamers and a big happy birthday on it. You know, that'd be fun.
Bam, T-72. There you go, buddy.
There you go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Your own
Happy
tank.
birthday.
And, if I get back here with some RPG-7 Victors and some RPKs,
Yeah.
I could make a whole bunch of folks that are apparently cheering Putin on right now. I could make them really happy and lighten their wallets all at the same
I
time.
was gonna say, what is with that? I mean,
I'm somewhat. Don't get me wrong, folks. I spent a large portion of my professional life, or a significant portion, not large, significant portion, dealing with the Soviet Union and not liking them at all. Period. Full stop. End of story. And I'm not under any illusions that Ukraine isn't another Soviet Socialist republic, which spent several decades under the thumb of Russia, learning Russian corruption. From what people have told me, it's a little less corrupt than most of them. So I don't think this is a case of angels versus devils.
you know, I think Ukraine is actually ahead of us in terms of, you know, they're far less corrupt than what we have currently in
Yeah,
our
point.
government.
Point. There's no choir boys here.
So, no.
However, I'm American. I'm a Texan. And I firmly enjoy a plucky underling, a sassy underdog taking on the monolithic, gigantic bullet. That makes me smile, makes me happy.
Sort of like when Scalzi talks about Larry. Of course, he's a nasty little rat taking on
Bad
John
middle
Flynn.
image. No, not a good middle
Not a
image.
good one.
I'm just the I like a plucky, sassy, defiant, there's no way this underdog's going to win smacking a bully in the snout. That's just, it appeals to me. And I don't understand these folks that, why are you backing Ukraine? Why aren't you?
That's a good question. It's another one of those great sorting moments.
Yeah.
Sort of like COVID was like, who are sheep and who are not.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then we now we have this of like, seriously? You think
Why are you backing the Ukraine? Because
the things we have learned about our friends and neighbors.
no
this
kidding.
year.
Because it's that old fax photo of the little mouse flipping off the eagle marked the last great act of defiance. You've got to root for the mouse. Ukraine is flipping off Russia with all four legs. You've got to. I mean, we're Americans. Damn it, we go for the underlings. It's just, and I don't understand the folks that, and I also don't understand the folks that have got to, for lack of a better word, shit in their mess kit. Is that about right? Yeah, that's about right. They've got to take a dump all over Ukraine's propaganda. I don't know why. And it's it's wrong. It doesn't matter.
They sound like the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the crowd.
Exactly.
They're like, it's not really that good.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a lie. And all propaganda is a lie.
But it's not really like that. I'm like, seriously.
It's Russia and a former socialist republic. They're lying out their asses. That's what you do in war. We have an entire MOS devoted to ginning up lies during war. It's a military occupational specialty. It's like, that's all lies. Of course it is. It's propaganda. Who gives? And honestly, you're sitting there over your eggs and bacon, and Ukraine tells a lie about some supposed ace fighter jet. Okay. Is it taking the eggs and the bacon off your plate? Is it going to, the fact that they lied, and these folks treat it like it's personal. It's like, is that lie about a made up fighter pilot going to punch you in the nose and take your lunch money? No, then why do you care?
Right.
Why are these people getting so upset about it? It's all lies. Of course it is. No shit. It's a war.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you that anybody that's Ukraine's lying. They're lying. You don't know history very well. There's a whole bunch of our treasured military stories.
Which are total bullshit.
They're complete and total bullshit. It's just,
speaking of bullshit, have you planted your peppers yet this year?
no, because got one more freeze come my damn peppers. Yeah, that's something we'll get into. But that's
you won't get your peppers.
no, we're getting there here in a second. But that's what I don't understand. And it's folks that you look at it and you go, you should know better. They're lies. And so what? Oh, it's like, damn it. My favorite TikTok so far is the response. Everybody's seen the one with it seems to be a farmer who's hooked up to what I think is a BTMT. I'm not sure. My Russian vehicle identification is a little squirrely. And he's taking off and there's somebody chasing him. And of course, this pack of killjoys, like, he didn't do that. That's from something else. And whatever. Anyway, there's another TikTok with a very Slavic looking dude. He has carrots. He's fake his face. And he's talking about how it wasn't stolen. It was, somebody just found it. And he doesn't know who it was and all this. And then as he pivots, you can see BTMT in the background. He's standing right next to a BTMT. That's great.
It's beautiful.
Yes, it's fantastic. And like I said, the humor that the Ukrainians are bringing into this, I don't know. Is it something to do with Slavic personalities, because I don't know that I could be making jokes if somebody had started south of Texas and moving up. I don't know I could make jokes about it.
Mm.
But the jokes, I forget where it was. There's a it's not Ukrainian eBay. Well, there. Ukrainian eBay has. I'm guessing it's a joke, but it might not be. It's a tank. It's a Russian tank found abandoned. Has been in an accident. On the inside, it's got goo on the inside and might need to be cleaned out. And then it's obviously I think it's a T-90, and it's got the little bird cage they built over the top for javelin protection, which didn't work. But it's and eBay was, oh crap, you can't do that. But there's another one that they've done, and it's just these reports. It's reports from Ukraine about found BTR 60, slight road damage. Please come get your BTR 60. And so these how are they maintaining this sense of humor? I mean, talk about a fatalistic, talk about graveyard
Well,
humor.
how many times have they been run over by Russia?
No point.
I mean, seriously, these people have dealt with this kind of crap for how long?
Yeah, it's for sale ex-Russian BP track. Needs new fuel tanks. Old ones have holes punched in them. Yeah, I mean, the amount of humor, the gallows humor they're bringing to this, you gotta root for these guys. And I do not understand the folks that they're not rooting for. I really don't. Did you have your sense of humor removed? Did you have your sense of wonder and your pulling for the underdog? Was all that removed? And Elon Musk, holy gods.
I love that, man.
The evil overlord that we didn't know we needed. For those of you who aren't following Elon, his very first foray into this whole thing was when the Russian space agency.
Oh no, it started before that.
Well, the first I saw.
Okay.
This Russian space agency threatened to crash the International Space Station onto somebody being stupid, some country being stupid. And how will you stop it? And Elon just posted a response that was SpaceX. It's like, oh, sick burn. Oh, sick burn. And then somebody in the Ukrainian government.
It was one of the Minister of Communication. Pinged him on Twitter.
Pinged him on Twitter asking, can we get some Starlink?
Yep.
On the way, 48 hours of delivering Starlink stations.
Well, they turned on all of the satellites over Ukraine first, and then delivered truckloads of receivers, and then announced that the next round of satellites going up in 4 to 6 months don't require an uplink from the ground. You can just hook in on your phone without any regulatory or government graft on top of it. So
yeah. And there's a meme going around that's got pictures of the flags of Sweden, Switzerland, and I think Finland. I forget. And it says, how dumb do you have to be to get these guys to choose a side? That's not what y'all need to be worried about. It really isn't. How dumb do you have to be to get the entire weaponized autism of Anonymous fired up and angry at you? Those little caffeinated squirrels can't move in the same direction on a bet. But apparently they are weapons free on Russia, and it's getting vicious. I actually, and God please forgive me for this, downloaded Twitter so I could follow the anonymous Twitter because holy crap. And I was watching in real time when the Russian Minister of Space, or whatever the hell he is, head cosmonaut in charge, announced on Twitter that anybody messing with the Russian Space Agency's computers would be declaration of war. And I swear to God, 13 hours later, Anonymous posted a picture of apparently something that was very bad and said, you just lost all your computer network to your satellites. Now what, bitch? It's like, damn, holy shit. Yeah, it's like Anonymous is like, wow. It's like, when you get that bunch of autistic,
Kids who were beat up in high school because they were geeky
yeah,
by the bigger guy.
autistic bully targets that angry that they're rampaging through your entire financial sector unmolested, that's pretty bad. And apparently, folks on the something serious we'll get to here in a second. Folks on the ground are telling me you can't find a styrofoam peanut in Ukraine to save your life. Apparently, they've all been dissolved in gasoline. Dude. On a more serious note, for those of you that we have a friend named Aaron Smith. Aaron has been spending Aaron is good, folks. Aaron's been spending right up until now, has been infiltrating Antifa and writing some really good tactical and strategic analyses of Antifa for one of the Substacks. Really, really good, good, sound, strategic, tactical mind. Aaron's good. Well, Aaron has tooled up and apparently has 250 pounds worth of medical gear that she managed to talk one of her local medical people into either donating or selling on the cheap, and is flying into Warsaw, where she has talked or bamboozled and or blackmailed a mainstream media reporter into being her Sherpa. So she's going to send a whole bunch of trauma supplies, which are probably very badly needed, into Ukraine, and then it's going to stay around for tactical and strategic analysis. I've posted a link to her Give, Send, Go. I'll make that public. If y'all can support Aaron, I'd appreciate it. So Aaron's good people. I'm a little worried. Aaron doesn't need to be banging around anywhere the Russians are shooting people, but Aaron's a big girl. If y'all can help her out, I'd appreciate it. I'll post my Facebook a link to her Give, Send, Go account. Let's see here. I would swear to God, I've been on here for at least an hour and a half, apparently 30 minutes. Holy crap. It's easy for you to say. You're over there doing things.
I'm stuffing bunnies.
Jonna says she's stuffing bunnies. I'll let y'all run with that as you will.
I'll tie them up later.
My world. So, getting off of the Ukraine thing, because it's probably taken up way too much time, way too much of this podcast. Again, if you want to support, this channel live from the Blanket Fort, buy this quilt top. There's the address. Yes, send her an email and buy that quilt top. My comrade in crime is getting his house refloored, and might be a little bit OCD about this. So
Jim, OCD. Yeah.
So he is
I don't think there's a definition of term for OCD that reaches Jim's level.
So he is currently at his house ramrodding some flooring people. That should be fun. But he's going to get a whole new floor out of this thing. So let's see there.
What's this one? Just straight up. Bunny ears doesn't really show. Bunnies. Bunny.
Bunnies. You asked, she answered. Bunnies. CDO in which the initials are in a proper alphabetical order. Yeah, no kidding. That's Jim.
He's getting a pergo floor.
Pergo floor. And I have been informed that I am not allowed to lay this floor because when Peter and Dorothy moved here, the floor in the house they were moved to was unset. So they found out that I have some experience in laying laminate floor. So they bought floor, and I was going to go over and lay it, and Jim decided he wanted to help. And after we got done doing that house, Jim swore to God that we would never, ever put down laminate floor ever again. We would hire somebody to do it. So there you go. So that's where Jim is. He's making sure that things are done stem to stern and ship shape. What other news is there? Brandon
We get
Sanderson
to
is
abuse veto again.
here in Texas. Goodness. Texas had its primaries,
Which was fun.
which our Oregon immigrant announced was quite fun.
Refugee.
She enjoyed herself immensely. And I don't know how other states do it. I've never voted in another state. In Texas, in March, you show up with a driver's license, and you tell the nice folks around the polling station if you want to vote in the Republican primary or the Democrat primary. You have to pick one or the other. Well, I am altogether amused by this one silly bimbette, because she's not fully grown, bimbette down in Houston, who has announced to great wailing, gnashing, and tearing of sackcloth that the state of Texas changed her party affiliation. Nobody cares. The state of Texas doesn't give two hoots in hell about your party affiliation until you show up and tell them. We don't send out anything. We don't tell you. You're not registered with a party in Texas. You show up, and I consider this dirty pool, or in other words, politics as usual. Folks in Texas will routinely, during their primaries, vote in the other party's primary to game the system, to make sure that the person they believe their mouse can beat, their reptile can beat, wins the opponent's. Texas doesn't care. These people that, oh my God, they changed my affiliation. No, they didn't. There's no registration. You show up and announce which one you are in March. So that's been going around as examples of voter fraud, that they're changing party affiliation. No, that's not a thing. You literally cannot do that in the state of Texas. There's no way for anybody to change your party affiliation. Let's see.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was packed.
Yeah, it was we have a week's worth of early voting, and the early voting, the mainstream media was quite happy about the fact that the early voting Texas this time around wasn't all that interesting. Not that many people. And then Tuesday came along, and holy gods, the poor election people, the folks running the polls, oh my God, they got run over. Damn. Okay, we've got a new voting system. And what you do is you walk up, you hand them your driver's license or any other ID. They ask you if you still live at that address, and that's important because it's your precinct. So they ask you if you live in that, they know which precinct to assign you to. You say, yes, I still live, or no, I don't. And then they punch a button and you get this 4-digit code. And then the nice lady will walk you over to a voting machine. You sit down, she slides a piece of paper into it. And then you touch screen your way down the. And when you're done and you're sure, and they ask you if you're sure, you push the button and the paper goes in, it comes out, and it's got everybody you voted for. And and then you take that and you walk over to the station, and the station says, is that correct? And you say, yeah. And you say, are you sure? Yes. And you feed it into a machine, and it gets flagged. It's stuffed into storage where it's safe, get a flag, and you're not gaming the system. I thoroughly approve. The Democrats do not. For some reason, some unknown reason, this is the way they do this is disenfranchising voters. And I don't know how that piece of paper that rolls into a machine and permanently marks how you voted without using your name, it just records your votes, how that's gaming the system. Also in small town Texas, they set up the voting system in the abandoned Piggly Wiggly. They've got voting stations in Walmart, in Home Depot, in an abandoned Piggly Wiggly, at all of the government buildings. If you can't find a voting station, if it is not mentally possible for you to find your way to a voting station, you shouldn't be voting to begin with. Anyway, yes, concealed handgun license, or what is now a license to carry any government issued ID is, and if you can't afford one, you contact the Secretary of State, prove that you're indigent, they will send you an ID free. And if you're indigent and you're on government assistance, you need the ID to begin with. You cannot get government assistance without ID. ID you can use to vote. Seriously. Okay. Oh.
So.
Yes. Oh, one of the funny things, I was in line, and they have sample ballots. And you got the sample Republican ballot and the sample Democrat ballot. You pick up in case you were stupid enough to not know who you want to vote for. While you're waiting in line, you can go down this ballot and make your decisions before you get to the touchscreen and do all that. So there was a stack of Republican ballots and a stack of Democrat ballots. And this guy walks over and he's just happy as a clam at high tide in his, his ropers and his hat. And he picks one from the big stack. And a guy in line says, if you're voting for Democrat, go sit over there to read it. He went, oh, no. And picks up the other one.
Well, when I went there, it's the first time in 30 years I've actually been able to go to a voting place, because I come from the land of no Republican will ever win again because we do vote by mail. And I was standing there and everyone's talking because everybody in town knows everybody in town except for me in my tie-dye top. And they were talking about how they all had to get down here and vote because of all those people coming here and invading our country. Did you see there's an Oregon license plate in the parking lot? And I was like, that would be me. They were like, the room got cold. It was a warm day, but the room got cold with the 30 or so people standing in line. And I said, I'm a refugee. Just want you to know we were invaded by California first. So I'm here to help counterbalance, because not a Democrat, just not. So they were like, oh, okay, you'll do. You can stay.
Now,
but it was funny.
When you feed the paper in the machine, it scans it and issues it a number. And then there's a great big lockbox that saves the paper. And after election, they'll get all those votes. They're marked sheets of paper with identifying numbers that identify not who you are, but that this is an actual original ballot. And you can count those. These pieces of paper can't be altered, period. So anyway, long story short, Greg Abbott got the Republican nomination for governor. And I didn't vote for him, but he's not bad. We could do worse. Alan West, who I did vote for, came in second. So I'm hoping he tries again next time. Ida Dick O'Rourke got all 900,000 votes for the Democrat side. So it's Abbott versus O'Rourke. And the current feeling on the thing is Ida Dick O'Rourke is about to go 0 for 3. He's fixing to lose. There's a significant portion of his votes, I think, are Republicans crossing the line, because Beto is so despised outside of Austin and El Paso. Literally despised. When on his show, the flag tour, when he got to Itchy Paw, it wasn't pretty. Seriously not pretty. And we got in the Panhandle, was worse. And he's backsliding. He is crawfishing so hard on a lot of his, especially the gun thing. He is crawfishing hard on the I want to take your guns. And he doesn't have two hoots and a hell of a chance. And particularly not with the way we're doing ballots. There's no way that the Dems, with the machines that my county is using, and apparently several other counties, not all of them, unfortunately, but there will be paper copies of ballots for verification. It's not, there's no more, Texas is not having any more of this digital only. Okay, I will not vote for George P. Bush for dog catcher. Period. Full stop in the story. Paxton, not my first choice, but I'm not voting for George P. Bush. Period. Polls run by the mainstream media regarding Abbott versus Edo Dick O'Rourke you might take those results with a huge chunk of salt.
Especially after the flip to the hard red around the border.
Yeah, John said the flip to the hard red in the Tejano counties on the Tex-Mex border. Damn. Yeah. I didn't mind George Bush, the senior, George H.W. Bush. It's not a bad president. He was too much of a gentleman for who he was up against. He tried to fight by the Marquis of Queensberry rules when his opponent was a gutter fighter from way back. George W. Bush, mixed feelings on that one. George P. Bush, no, done, period. Nope. Wonder how much of Abbott's marginal crossover? Not sure. Doesn't really matter. The sheer numbers, he got almost twice total that Edo Dick O'Rourke got. So I don't think that the margins matter all that much. O'Rourke would be a disaster for anybody, period.
He's a disaster for himself.
Yeah, he's a disaster for himself. He's a particularly disaster if he's behind the wheel, three sheets to the wind, and you happen to be an innocent conveyance sharing his motorway.
Democrats and car wrecks.
And driving drunk?
Yeah.
Do Democrats have to check their livers once they get?
I think so.
It's like, sorry, little guy, I'm a Democrat, and you're going to have a bad couple of years because Nancy Pelosi's out falling down drunk.
What do you mean, Granny Boxwine?
Yeah, Granny Boxwine is a falling down drunk. Democrats seem to rack up the DWIs and the thumping your wife while intoxicated with great regularity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have the Kennedys. We can kill somebody while drunk. We can leave her to drown in a car, you cowardly sack of shit.
Mm-hmm.
We can leave her to drown in a car in the dark, in the cold, while we go home and sleep it off and get away with it. I will never forgive the Democrat Party for supporting Ted Kennedy after that shit. That's how the hell can you stand by a man, alleged man, who drives off into a cold, dark ocean and leaves his female companion to drown in the dark, while he walks back to his bed and breakfast and sleeps it off before calling, "Oh my God," in the morning.
It's that sense of entitlement. Yeah.
Nothing but back of my hand to him.
No. But in happier news, we're in Texas and it's beautiful day.
For those of you who didn't hear Jonna, she said, in better news, we're in Texas and it's a beautiful day. We're trying to break Jonna in easy on the Texas seasons.
Yeah, it's so weird. Texas is drunk, someone get the keys. Holy hell, this weather is weird.
It's 80 degrees today. 81 when I walked in here today.
It was 12 last week.
I'm trying to tell Jonna that we've got one more snowstorm before Easter.
It's like, what the hell?
Now that comes to the pepper thing. She's asking when I'm going to plant my peppers because
Yeah, 'cause keep
I
hearing
swear
you
by
swear
the
a
great
lot.
golden gerbil. I swear a great deal. I swear by the great golden gerbil, I'm going to have peppers this year. Damn it! So she was asking when I'm going to plant my peppers.
Mhm.
Again, we always get a pre-Easter cold snap, and peppers. Apparently, when I have them, they activate the delicate gene whenever I pick up the pot because they're more fragile than a southern belle as soon as I put them in the dirt. So I'm going to,
Oh, you're not using the right pronouns with them. That's what's wrong.
well, then I'm not ever going to have peppers again. That's for damn sure. So I'm going to wait till after the Easter when we have our last cold snap that everybody knows is coming and nobody expects. Somebody needs to explain that to me. Sanford, you're a cruel, cruel man. I will be planting Mad Hatters, I can talk, Mad Hatters and the Texas A&M cultivar jalapenos because, damn it, I'm going to have peppers this year. Last year, I read the back of the box they came in. I went on the internet and researched more than I researched anything else about how to grow these damn peppers. And I followed the instructions to the letter. And the entire time, my Mad Hatters got that tall. They got to that tall and stopped. My Texas A&M cultivar jalapenos got about half an inch taller and gave me one jalapeno about the size of a number 5 shot. Meanwhile, the neighbors punted a Serrano into the yard, poured motor oil over it to give it a little encouragement. And the damn thing got 10 feet tall and was giving gallons of peppers by the week. Something's just not right. It's just not right. Seriously, they threw these peppers out there and ignored them. And 10 feet tall, peppers everywhere. I get out there and I get the special mulch and I make sure the pH is right and I water them on a schedule and they get 4 inches tall and stay there. Yeah, not only did I soil sample, I took a soil sample to the local A&M ag station and tell them that, is this what I need for peppers? And I said, that's fine. That's great. Great. John, how deep is the soil? I had them in pots. And the pots were 18 inches across and 26 inches deep, which was exactly the size everything on the internet said we needed. And I love the A&M cultivars are jalapenos with about a bell pepper, maybe a little warmer, about 500 on the Scoville heat unit. It's a very mild jalapeno, very big jalapenos, very mild. And I don't buy peppers for heat. Heat is people. If it's too hot for you to enjoy the food, people aren't going to eat your food. I buy peppers for the taste. And for those of you who don't know, jalapenos have this lovely, almost licorice taste. There's a herb that grows all the time. I forget. Nope, not that. Nope. It's that beef and something you get at the Thai fusion place.
Oh, basil.
Basil. There's a kind of a licorice basil flavor to jalapenos. A lot of people know about it because they're too busy trying to drinking milk. Doesn't work. Drinking milk to get. Peppers have lovely tastes. They really do, and that's what I want. I want peppers for the taste. No one for the heat.
You don't want them for the fragrant poops?
There she is, folks. So, and I keep, those A&M cultivars, when you do them with stuffed peppers, and you do them right with, you got the cheese in there and the sausage and wrapped in bacon and done till crispy, those A&M cultivars are fantastic. And I want to make some good Law Dog stuffed peppers, those A&M cultivars with that fragrant basil licorice. And so, by God, sooner or later, I'm going to get the damn peppers. If I have hair lips every cannibal in the Congo, I'm going to get some friggin' bell or some friggin' jalapenos. And I'm planting Mad Hatters because, again, it's about 500 to 1,000 Scoville heat units, and they're just a fantastic little. The look of them is great. It's a very unique little pepper, and I'm going to grow those. By God, sooner or later, I'm going to grow them, and I'm going to stuff them with potted meat or something, and serve stuffed peppers. And I think they're going to be fantastic. Apparently, I'm an occluded person. I'm not sure what occluded is. The internet will probably tell me, but I'm good. Let's see here. I'm sorry for the whole this piece of shit doing the piece of shit stuff that caused me to have to restart this. My apologies.
We'll be back to normal on Tuesday.
What?
We'll be back to normal on Tuesday.
We will be back to what passes for normal around here on Tuesday. Let's see. Is there anything I need to touch on? We beat Ukraine to death. We giggled about Brandon Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
We insulted Beto O'Rourke multiple ways. It's been a good podcast.
We did it this weekend. We covered peppers
Oh, and we covered peppers.
and bunnies
Oh, and stuffed bunnies
and Wendell shirts.
and Wendell shirts. Yes, this has been a good podcast.
Yes, I think we've got
Apparently, if I could say, the State of the Union address. Holy gods, yeah. Oh, wow.
Are you guys ready to settle in for an entire hour here? Because, wow.
What I find most interesting about the State of the Union address, well, there's multiple things that are you turn off if you turned off the volume and watched, it was a dumpster fire. The Babylon Bee had it right. The interesting thing about what I find about the aftermath, the after action reports on the State of the Union, was within 30 minutes of the ficus being wheeled back into his pot and turned to face the sun, everybody was, one side of the internet was just dotting their cupcakes over how empathetic he looked and how leaderly he was, or whatever the hell that word is. Just going overboard on the tongue baths. And then about a day later, the ones that, he made some errors. He did. The chief of which, and I only watched until he announced the Iranians had been invaded. And I almost blew a blood vessel trying to figure out where the hell the Iranians live and who the hell invaded the Iranians.
Iranian opinions matter too.
After that, I had to turn it off because I was about to blow a blood vessel. But I've watched a whole some from neutral people-ish. David Spalding's about as neutral as you can get. And if you're not following David Spalding on Facebook, Spalding S. Dave, he is a very well-rounded and very cerebral person. I count him as a good friend. He had a really devastating takedown of the State of the Union. Vicious. Damn, vicious. What the hell was that?
She's doing stuff over there.
Oh, okay. It made a noise. I don't like it when it makes noises.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. I always have this urge to shoot the computer.
You know,
Well, this one shoots back, so you better be careful.
right?
But watching, does anybody know what the hell dance Nancy Pelosi was doing about burn pits?
Yeah, that was weird.
Anybody figured that one out? Because apparently she's a big fan of burn pits, which means she's never had to do.
It was like she was like there was a cue on her copy of the speech. Stand and clap.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was like this
And then she
little-
turned it into this little dance. It's like, well, there's a leader. There's a leadership of the junior house of our legislative branch.
It was a little horrifying to look at the
It's
three
like,
of them.
whoa.
I'm like, seriously.
The dementia dance. That or her liver was sending up. That was her liver's way of saying, "Help me!"
Or she needed to pee, or, her
Or she
panties-
needed to pee.
You know what? Her panties were in a twist, and she had to get them loose. So
I would seriously like, since Madam Pelosi, Madam Speaker, whatever the hell her name is, started Granny Boxline started this the precedent. I think you should have a ceremonial tearing up the president's speech. I think whenever the president gives a speech, they should select somebody from the opposing tribe to walk up and take his speech and ceremoniously shred it, tear it in half on the news, just to make sure he keeps his humility. I am drunk high. I honestly, I think Pelosi, her drug of choice is alcohol. I think she would be taking a spliff. That's for the common people. Anybody that drinks fucking hell. Anybody that eats $500 ice cream is not going to smoke skunk weed. I think booze is her. Well, it's not shredding the teleprompter. You can do that with an axe. But you notice when he walked in and he very ceremoniously handed copies of his speech to the two bimbos behind him. Again, I think it needs to be part of the whole panoply and theater of government that the opposing tribe gets to select somebody to walk up, take this speech from one of the two bimbos behind him, and have them tear it very ceremoniously.
I love
crap.
Elon even more
Oh, shit.
because Elon updated the software to reduce peak power consumption on all of the Starlink stuff. So it can be powered from a car cigarette lighter. Mobile roaming enabled, so phased array antenna can maintain signal on a moving vehicle. Somebody make sure this man has extremely good security.
You know that he's right under the
Oh, my
millionaire that
God.
put the ex-oligarch who put the $1 million bounty up his head
Mhm.
is number one on the smoke list. You know Elon's number two.
No, I think Elon's probably number one at this point because
That's so. In other words, if you're running like hell from a Russian convoy, the internet will stay active.
I love that man. You've made it an hour.
Oh, I have.
Yes, you have.
Okay, we have made it an hour. And I,
This touch should go there for a bit. but
Yeah,
you
no
made it,
kidding.
so-
Okay, Elon Musk, Sean Newton says Elon Musk has rockets, even though they don't have nuclear warheads. I will guarantee you, Elon Musk is a quarter turn of a screw away from having an active nuclear warhead. He's an evil overlord. Of course he has nuclear warheads. On that note, I think I'm out of here. Y'all be safe. Come back. This is still Thursday. Yeah, come back Tuesday, and Jim will be running the show so that we'll actually maybe get off the ground the first time. Y'all be safe.